I'm 34. I'm not one of those who knew from youth what they would become. But I always knew that I wanted to do something of my own, real, without a tick, without like everyone else, without a plan B. I worked as a designer for a long time, days in agencies, nights as a freelancer. Gradually, I collected clients, a reputation, and most importantly, a safety cushion. Not millions, but an amount that I saved for 9 years. It was not kept in a bank. In my head, it was my key to freedom. My dream was strange for many, to open my own sound studio. Not a glossy one, not for the sake of show business, but a studio where ordinary guys can come, aspiring musicians, poets, rappers, for whom high doors are closed. I myself wrote tracks in my youth, mixed on an old laptop, and I always lacked one thing, a place where you can be yourself, and you won't be kicked out for imperfect sound. I wanted to create this place, and one day I decided, it's time. I invested almost everything. I rented a place, an old basement in a brick house, soaked in sound and dust. I did some renovations, simple, but with soul, warm light, acoustics, soft walls, a couple of armchairs, a sofa from a flea market. The equipment is not top-notch, but sturdy. Sound, microphones, computer, acoustics. I even made a mini kitchen and a coffee area, so you can just sit. I invested not only money, I invested myself. At first, everything seemed like a real dream. Friends, acquaintances, guys from the neighborhood wrote. They recorded, tried. Someone brought chocolate, someone brought music. The first months were soulful, but there was almost no money. Most came out of friendship. Someone asked for a loan, someone will write back later. I didn't count. I believed. I started counting on the 3rd month, and I was horrified. Income almost zero. Rent, electricity, consumables, equipment, everything was dragging us down. I started saving. I lived on pasta, stopped taking taxis, canceled personal expenses. But the hardest thing is the silence in the studio, when there is no one in it, only you, and the hum of empty walls. You sit, drink cold coffee, and think, what if no one comes? You live between expectation and disappointment. And then he appeared, through each other, smiling, confident, with his people. He said, Dan, you made a cool place. Let's expand. I will invest, my clients, advertising on me. We will have everything. I was exhausted and scared, and he wanted salvation. I like you, he said. We'll do everything honestly, without bureaucracy, humanly. I shook your hand. 2 weeks later, he offered. Give me the equipment for a couple of days. I'll take it for maintenance. I have my own team. We'll update the firmware, do a cleaning. I gave it to him. He disappeared. First, not picking up. Then number not in service. Then empty. I went to the address. There's a car wash. No information about him. No company. I went to the police. Filed a report. They said, we'll look. I sat in the studio. Empty room. Empty hands. And complete, paralyzing guilt. I didn't scream. I couldn't. I just sat, for hours. Stared at the concrete. Sometimes I laughed. Sometimes I cried. I thought, well, you lost. To myself, to my parents, to the universe. You believed, and for that, you were robbed. I didn't leave the house for a week. Deleted social media. Canceled meetings. Lay there and stared at the ceiling. There were no thoughts, only a feeling. No one needs you anymore, not even myself. Then the debts started. I had to pay the rent. I sold my laptop, headphones, guitar. Then I rented out the studio to others. Not knowing what to live on. Returned to freelancing, not out of love, out of fear. Each order was like humiliation. You're back at the start, and you were so close. Then one guy called, an old friend, a musician. He once recorded with me for free. He said, bro, I heard that you got screwed. Well, I started. No, don't make excuses. You were one of the few who believed in us, ... And he added, we want to help you. The guys and I put together an online stream, a small collection. Just support. I didn't believe it, but I agreed. They did a broadcast. Music, poetry, memories. People sent donations. Some sent 300 rubles. Some sent 5,000. Some just words. Altogether about 30,000. But it wasn't money. It was, you are not forgotten. I sat down in the former studio, without equipment, without lamps, without anything, just me, and a box with wires, and the light from the window. And I realized, I'm alive, and even if I have nothing left, I have a beginning. Almost 2 years have passed. Now I don't have a studio, but I have a laptop, a microphone, and a small online school for those who want to write music. I do sessions. I teach people. I'm putting it off again, not for business, but for meaning. I've become tougher, wiser, but not bitter. I'm not afraid to say that I was deceived. I'm afraid to no longer believe, which means I will believe, only smarter. If you're reading this, and your money, your dream, your hope have burned up, know this. You're not a failure. You're just a person who's hurt, and this is not the end. This is a pause in which a new version of you is born, not blind, not idealistic, but real.